We are born whole, but slowly we begin to trade our wholeness for approval, a parent's praise, a teacher's gold star, a society's nod of acceptance, and without realizing it, we abandon who we truly are for who the world says we should be. We learn to suppress the part of ourselves that seem too much, too sensitive, too loud, too quiet, too slow to succeed. We shrink, we shapeshift, we perform, we please, we prove, and in that silence grows a belief that haunts us for years. I'm only lovable when I end it. I'm only worthy when I achieve it. And Louise Hay taught us that behind every physical illness and emotional wound lies a thought, a toxic root belief. Not enough, unlovable, broken, unworthy. And here's the painful truth. If you don't challenge those beliefs, we build our lives around it. We chase people who confirm it. We sabotage opportunities that threaten it. We tolerate pain that validates it. Because the mind isn't loyal to what's good for us. It's loyal to what's familiar. And if pain is familiar, then pain becomes home. But healing begins the moment we pause and ask, whose voice is that in my head? Who told me I'm not enough? And what if they were wrong? The journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you to be someone else. As Louise said, you've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Healing doesn't always come in grand epiphanies. Sometimes it comes quietly, in the moment you speak kindly to yourself, in the breath where you choose rest over proving, in the decision to say, I am enough, without needing to end it. Because when your inner world shifts, your outer world follows. And until we challenge those thoughts, we stay stuck in a loop of pain, as the outer world mirrors the inner one. Every time you choose self-love over self-judgment, you are rewriting the script. You are breaking the cycle. You are becoming free. And you do this by using the power of affirmation. Affirmations aren't about pretending everything is okay. They are about creating space for something new. They are the first cracks of light in a mind that's been darkened by years of criticism, shame, and fear. You don't say I am enough because you always feel it. You say it because you are choosing to believe something different. Because your inner child never heard it enough. Because your nervous system still flinches at kindness. Because the voice in your head has been echoing someone else's pain, not your truth. Louise reminded us that every thought we think is creating our future. So every affirmation is a seed, and like any seed, it takes time. You water it with repetition. You shine light on it with gentleness. You protect it from the weeds of doubt and comparison. At first, it may feel fake. Your mind may push back. You will hear this isn't true. You're just lying to yourself. But let's be honest. Haven't we been lying to ourselves for years in the other direction? I'm not good enough. I'll never change. I don't deserve love. We accepted those lies so easily. Why not give truth a chance? Start here. I am willing to believe I matter. I choose peace over fear. I deserve love just as I am. Even if you whisper it, even if you cry through it, even if it feels awkward, say it anyway. Because with every word, you are interrupting an old story. You're reprogramming your subconscious. You're healing the relationship you have with yourself, one sentence at a time. This isn't magic, it's rewiring. It's science. It's self-respect in action. And when you do this consistently, something shifts. You walk a little taller. You stop apologizing for existing. You start choosing better, asking for more, loving deeper. You realize you were never broken, just buried under beliefs that weren't yours to carry. That's the power of affirmation. Not to trick your mind, but to remind your soul of what's always been true. Just like Louise said, if we are willing to do the mental work, almost anything can be healed. This isn't about guilt or blame. It's about empowerment. Louise never shamed people for getting sick. She reminded us that the body reflects the mind, not as punishment, but as an invitation to look closer, to ask, where am I holding tension I never released? What fear have I been carrying in silence? What emotions have I buried so deep that now speaks through my skin, my stomach, my back? She taught that the body holds a memory of every emotion we suppress. A tight chest may reflect unspoken grief. A chronically sore throat may carry years of turning away. An achy gut may be the result of stomaching too much, too many insults, too much stress, too many things left unsaid. But here's the hope. Just as the mind can contribute to illness, it can also contribute to healing. Forgiveness can lighten the load. Affirmation can rewire the stress response. Self-love can calm inflammation. Because when the nervous system feels safe, the body begins to trust again. And healing, true healing, becomes possible. Louise Hay didn't promise miracles. She reminded us that we are already miraculous. That we are not separate parts. Mind here, body there. We are whole. And healing must include all of us. Our thoughts, our feelings, our history, our hope. So ask yourself today, what is my body trying to say? And then, gently, patient, without judgment, listen. And what follows next is forgiveness. Forgive your inner child and let go. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean saying what happened was okay. It means saying I am done letting this pain own me. Louise understood that so many of us walk through life holding on to stories that keeps us stuck. Stories of betrayal, abandonment, shame, loss, and every time we replay them, we relive them. Our body tenses, our heart closes, our joy dims. But forgiveness is the door, not to erase the past, but to free ourselves from it. And the one who needs it most, your inner child, the little version of you who never got the apology, who didn't feel protected, who made silent vows like it's my fault, I'm too much, I'm never enough. And so healing begins when you turn towards that child with no judgment, but with compassion. Imagine looking into their eyes and saying, you didn't deserve what happened. You were always worthy of love. And I'm here now. I will never abandon you again. This is how we begin to reparent ourselves. This is how we reclaim the power we gave away. Louise often said, love is the great miracle cure. Loving ourselves works miracles in our lives. But before we can love ourselves now, we must let go of who we had to become just to survive. Let go of the perfectionism. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the old identities. The people's pleaser, the overachiever, the one who always smiles through pain. You are allowed to choose peace. You are allowed to stop carrying other people's wounds. You are allowed to say, I forgive, not because they deserve it, but because I deserve to be free. Because when you forgive, you don't change the past. You change your future. And suddenly, your nervous system starts to settle. Your breath softens. You laugh easier. You sleep better because your heart is no longer at war with itself. This is the power of forgiveness. This is the gift you give yourself when you go within and say, I choose to let go now because I choose to live. Then go ahead to living a life of self-love. But remember, self-love is not a destination. It's a daily homecoming back to the truth of who you are beneath the noise, the wound, the expectation. Louise didn't teach perfection. She taught permission. Permission to love yourself exactly where you are, even while you're still becoming. Here's how to start. Number one, start with one loving thought. You don't need to believe everything yet. You just need a crack in the armor. A single whisper of hope. I am willing to believe I matter. That thought plants the seed, and with practice, it begins to grow into something stronger, which is confidence, compassion, peace. And number two, make the mirror your friend. The mirror work Louise taught may feel strange at first. Looking into your own eyes and saying, I love you. You are safe. You are doing the best you can. It's vulnerable, raw, real. But the mirror doesn't lie. It reflects the love you begin to offer yourself. And over time, it becomes your healing ground. Number 3, bless your body and your journey. You are not just a body. You are a story wrapped in skin. Every curve, every scar, every stretch mark holds a chapter. You don't have to love it all at once, but start by saying, thank you, body, for carrying me. Thank you, breath, for coming back again and again. Because the body you criticize is always the body that survived, that deserves reference. So know that self-love is a practice of choosing again, choosing to speak kindly instead of harshly, to rest instead of hustle, to pause instead of push, to stay with yourself when all you've ever known is leaving. Every small act of self-love rewrites the story. Each moment you choose compassion over criticism, you break a generational chain, you shift your future. You become the parent your inner child always needed. You become the partner, the friend, the guide to yourself. And no, it's not easy. But as Louise said, remember you've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. So try gently, consistently, bravely, not because you have to be perfect, but because you are already worthy. Louise believed something radical, that healing doesn't begin in a hospital. It begins in the heart, in the mirror, in the words we say to ourselves when no one else is listening. She showed us that no matter the abuse, the neglect, the trauma, the guilt, you are not broken. You are not beyond repair. You have the power to heal your life, she said, and you need to know that. Healing isn't about erasing the past. It's about rewriting your relationship with it. It's about saying, I've lived through pain, but I don't have to live in pain anymore. Because you don't need anyone's permission to begin again. You don't need to be more perfect, more successful, more lovable. You just need to say, I am enough. I am willing to believe in my worth. And it all starts with one simple act. Look in the mirror. Place your hand on your heart and say the words that once felt impossible. I love you. I really, really love you. It may feel awkward. It may bring tears. It may stir up resistance. But do it again. Do it anyway. Because every time you say it, you soften a little. You open a little. You begin to return to the truth. You were always worthy. You just forgot. Louise didn't give people magic. She reminded them that the way the magic, that love heals, that forgiveness frees, that belief changes everything. So wherever you are in your life, hurting, healing, beginning again, let this be your moment. Don't wait to be chosen. Choose yourself. Right here, right now. Say it again. I love you. I really, really love you. And just maybe that one sentence will change everything. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe for more.